Cheers.
Cheers.
So today we're here with my boy Rob. We are in his office. This is the first Tequila Talk. And basically the point of this video is just to kind of talk about how tequila has brought us together and the connections that we've made because of tequila. And then wherever the conversation goes. So today we've got our G4 Reposado. We got Montagave Reposado single barrel. We've got the new Cascanes agave distillate. And we have the Tapatio Reposado. Because my boy is a Reposado fan. So
I am.
We wanted to kind of bring what he likes.
I am, yeah. So I've always said that the number one rule of tequila is that it's meant to be shared. Mike and I have similar stories where when we got introduced to tequila, we kind of just let the bottle do the work when it comes to the bonding and the relationships of the people that were around us when we were drinking tequila. You become a lot more vulnerable at the end of the night. You become more of your friends become more of your boys, and you just open up a lot more. And me and Mike have been fortunate enough to meet some awesome people throughout San Antonio who also enjoy drinking tequila and are members of different tequila clubs, and they've opened us up to to new things and new spirits, and it's been cool to kind of hear their story on how they did it. So I'm a Repo guy. I've always liked Repo. G4 is actually my go-to, and Mike actually introduced that to me, I want to say in January or February. I got introduced to G4, and it's been my go-to for the past maybe 4 or 5 months. But Repo is my go-to. I love Reposado. Blanco, I think, needs a little bit more flavor, and then to me, Añejo has too much flavor. So for me, Repo's right in the middle. But any Repo that you recommend that's non-additive, organic, I'll definitely give it a try because I love to see the different types of flavors I can get from it. So
100%. So I agree with you talking about the spheres of, in real estate terms, our sphere of influence, right? So we're talking about, I like to say the word connection and how it brings our spheres together, right? So, the fact that already your sphere introduced me to Jorge, introduced me into mezcal shout out Jorge, and introduced me more into mezcal, and gave me a deeper education into that. So there's that. Then the sphere of just the people that we've kind of known through like Instagram and everything like that have introduced us to other people.
And from all over. And so now they're starting, the River City Tequila Club. So looking forward to that and what those introductions and connections bring. But at the same time, like you said, it's the conversations that you have with your boys, that you have with people that are like-minded, and sitting down and having those conversations and then seeing how deep they go. Right. And I've had one of those, and and I think I've told you the story, but for me it was one of my best friends from since first grade. One of my closest cousins. We're at a hunting trip, and I take 4 bottles that are supposed to last us the whole weekend. And gone.
And I open them up that first night, and they're not tequila drinkers. They're like, I don't know. I like whiskey. I like this. And I'm like, just taste it, dog. Just taste it. And then it turns out like the conversation went real deep. My best friend shared something with my cousin I never thought he would share with anybody else. And, it was kind of got us close. And then by the end of the night, I'm looking at all 4 bottles are gone.
Gone.
It's 2:30 in the morning. It's like, we're not going to go hunt in the morning, but hey, it was a great conversation. And it was something very memorable to me that will always make me go, this right here is the reason why I love tequila.
The thing it does it. And 100%. I mean, same thing with my family. I mean, I'm now in my family, in my sphere of close friends, I'm the guy that people call. To be like, hey, what bottle should I get? What should I do? And it's funny because any bottle I recommend, I see my family's face being like, hey, give me another shot. Give me another shot. And now I have cousins who are now like, hey, when we play poker, they're like, hey, bring a bottle, and we're doing shots, and we're just sipping tequila all night. So, but going back to the point, I think one thing that's good to talk about is how tequila actually made you more open-minded to trying other things. Because one thing I got I've noticed a lot is when I tell people like I really only drink tequila and I'm a sipper, and a lot of people are shocked that they're like, you're just straight,
just
take
neat.
it, just neat, right? Just give me a little, Topo Chico on the side or a glass of water and I'll be fine. But I notice when I tell people I drink tequila, they're like, oh, I can't do tequila, or they have this, this horrible story from back in the day, and then when you really think about it, I was like, oh, well, you haven't tried good tequila, right? Because me, I've drank in half this bottle before by myself, and I wake up the next day feeling fine. And so because I know people have that experience now, when people tell me, like Jorge, for example, when he introduced me to mezcal, he said the same. He goes, you haven't tried good mezcal, and I'm like, I haven't. Right? So now I'm more open-minded to being like, you're right. Like there are ways of making these drinks where you can actually enjoy it, where it doesn't affect you. And as we're getting older, you don't want to waste the next day. No. Right? So now I'm very cautious of like, I want to drink something that I can enjoy the night, I can have a good night, but I'm not going to waste the next day. Right? And so that's one thing I really like about what tequila's done for me, is the fact that now I'm more open-minded. I'm like, it would teach me about a spirit or teach me about something I didn't know about, because you're right, the way I learned and studied tequila, you did it with yours. And you're going to teach me something I didn't know. So now I actually really like mezcal. And to me, I was that guy that was like, this is smoky, this is nasty. And then Jorge introduced me to his, which shout out Chingaquedita and Mezentens. When he introduced me to the different spirits, and I know we tried them last month, and I know y'all loved them, I was like, dude, these are amazing. And so he started explaining to me the history of mezcal and everything, and I was like, see, that's what I like. And again, that mezcal, I can drink it all night.
And it's the same thing, like, that's why, for me, kind of trying to create a space for myself in the tequila, but now I don't want to just be tequila, it's like agave spirits, because there's mezcal. There's definitely like
Sotol is my next one.
Yeah, that's another one. So they're all different, and they all have this like breadth of brands and different things to it. Just like tequila does, mezcal's even wider. And then it's like there's so many different types, and there's decent, there's good, and there's bad, and then there's like extraordinary, right? And so when you're talking about the different craftsmanships of the different spirits, for me, that's the best part. It's like barbecue. Yeah, exactly. Right? You're talking about brisket, right? We're in San Antonio. We're in Texas Hill Country. What type of wood they use. Right. I mean, the whole thing, the whole process.
Yeah, the science behind it.
The science. It's not a throw it on the grill, burn it, and then let's go eat it. There's time. It's the same thing with tequila. That's what I love about it. It's the craft. The recipe, the people behind it, the scientists behind it, and the people who really like enjoy that process. Like we've also have a common thing of jiu-jitsu. So knowing the process.
What you go through
with jiu-jitsu, it's the same thing. That's why for me, jiu-jitsu, barbecue, craft barbecue, and now agave spirits.
I remember when we first learned that we both did jiu-jitsu, but you're a black belt. I'm not.
But that's
you got way more years.
All it is just time, right? That's like you got the Blanco and Añejo. That's it.
I'm barely a reposado.
I mean, when I got also age years on you too. So that's another reason. But that's why I love it, and then so to be able to talk about it to other people who don't know, right? Not because I'm superior and I think that I know everything, because I don't, but I have a passion for it that I want to share, just like you say, share.
It's funny, so Easter, a lot of my family came, and my uncle, he always he didn't know tequila the way I do. So when he started telling me he likes tequila, I was like, what are you drinking? And he told me, I'm not going to say what it was, and I was like, oh, Theo, you got to try this other stuff. He goes, why? And I started explaining it to him, and I got a couple bottles, and I had a couple bottles, and so I bought him Gritona, Don Fulano, we bought some G4. And what was funny was where I'm from, so I'm from a small town in West Texas, they don't really carry a lot of these. And so my uncle was like, hey, the morning they left, he woke me up. He's like, hey, so you said I could take a bottle. Which one? I was like, oh, Uncle, like take whichever one you want. He took all 4 bottles. He took all 4 bottles. He goes, and he had cascanes too. I remember we bought some cascanes, and he took all 4 bottles. And I remember my tia was like, "You don't take them all." I was like, "We have a liquor store.
Close
like we
by,
got Alamo City right here.
Yeah.
Shout out Alamo City,
Yeah.
who provides everything we need. Like y'all
100%.
take them." And so that was one thing I liked. And what was funny is I talked to them about a week later, and they're like, "Yeah, we love to sip on it right before bed. We relax."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Nay, I'm glad y'all feel good off the education I taught y'all, because that's how I felt."
Yeah.
So we were laughing because when he was leaving, he grabbed all 4 bottles and like went to the truck. And so yeah, I mean, and even now, if you notice, the more we sip, like the more it's going. And so to me, I'm very I've always been a social drinker. I'm not someone who drinks a lot by myself, but I like the social aspect of it because I love getting to meet people and I love getting to know them. And I know I got to be vulnerable with people for them to be vulnerable with me.
100%.
And so I've noticed that, tequila's allowed me to do that and built some amazing relationships through it. So, but yeah, like you said, now I always wanted to visit Tequila, right, in Mexico. But now it's like, because learning mezcal and talking to Jorge, now I want to go to Oaxaca. I want to go to Oaxaca. I want to do both. Bad. Yeah, like, and I told Jorge, I was like, "When you going again, man?"
I'm like, I got the family, and and I'm like, bro, like, I don't know if they'll let me go for 3 weeks. Because I could do a week and a half in Tequila, a week and a half in Oaxaca. I'd be like, I'm good, But I think there's a lot of trips coming up with some of the clubs I need to tell you about, and that they might be down the line, and even if it's not till next year. But yeah, I think it would be really cool to take a trip like that. And get really close to it, to the actual process. Be in the heart there, and just all it does is gonna make the education / passion for it.
And the bonding of everybody.
Oh yeah. Depending on who you go with, right? Like it's 100%.
And that's one thing I've always enjoyed too is so I'm a financial advisor. I have my own financial practice, and me and Mike, we have this same philosophy where we do business with people where we have a lot of commonality.
100%.
Right? Like you're doing business with me, not this masked version of me.
Right,
you're doing business with me.
Yeah.
And so when people say, "Hey Rob, let's go grab a drink," I'm like, "You like tequila?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'll sip on it." I was like, "Perfect. I'm going to teach you some stuff."
Yeah.
And so it bonds you a lot more in the relationships you have in business. They become stronger.
Yeah.
And also that same respect they gave me of like, "Hey, let me teach you this stuff. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully when you got family events, you can buy a bottle."
Yeah.
And now if like somebody enjoys cars, I'm like, "Hey, teach me about that."
Yeah.
Right? Teach me about the thing that you're passionate about and what I can learn more. And now I'm trying to understand cigars a little more. I've never really been a cigar guy, so I was like, "Hey, let me open up my mind a little bit to that." So I've just noticed the more, like, because I was able to educate people properly with my passion. Now I'm like, "Hey, let me open up my mind and listen to them about their passion." So
I like it.
Yeah, so that's one thing I liked about the business aspect of it, is it's been able to bond people.
So it's funny because you started talking about the business aspect, and I'm starting to think about like the business aspect of tequila.
Okay.
Just doing these videos and stuff like that, and like hearing, the stories of the brand owners is the romantic part of it.
Those are awesome.
I mean, that's you're just like, oh my God, like how they got to that point, and then the process of them growing this brand, creating the tequila, and then actually putting it out, and that's their baby, and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
But then there's the business side of it that kind of goes, hey man, that's not the romantic side of it, but at the same time, it's how we get it from there to the glass. And into where everybody can share it. And so that's another fascinating part for me. But at the same time, I think that it's still part of the connections. Like I was just on a thread with some of these other guys in another club, and they were complaining. Well, not complaining. They were saying, hey, I don't like this part of the thread, because there's people putting in other things like cigars or different stuff, and it wasn't about tequila.
We're not sticking to the mission.
Right.
Yeah, we're not sticking to the mission.
But they were like, no, but I like how this brings us, like you just said, it brings their passion, they're sharing what they like, and everybody's like, no, like this is why tequila is awesome, and this thread is awesome, is because we're sharing everything that we like, and yes, the commonality is tequila. But hey, I want to share this with you and see if you like. And if you don't have to like it, but I'm letting you know about it.
Being around someone who's passionate about something is so addicting.
It is, especially when you're talking about quality stuff.
Yeah, you could feel it.
You go, man, like this guy really knows what he's talking about. Let me listen a little bit.
Well, let's speak on quality. That's actually something I'm glad we're covering, because so this is if G4 you're listening, I would love to be sponsored, but G4 is my thing, right? And if you notice, G4. It's not a fancy bottle. It's not anything, but this is $50, right? And that's one thing I love about good organic non-additive tequila is it's not going to break the bank. You think you're gonna have to spend $100+ on a good bottle of tequila that is gonna make you feel, drunk yet amazing. No, man, you could find amazing tequilas for
just like
$40, $35, $50. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, not a fancy bottle either.
Yeah,
like we're talking about.
They're known for not having a fancy bottle.
Cascanes and fancy bottle, like this right here. I mean, the rope, the cork, like all of it, and there some of these companies have hand blown bottles. You look at something like this. Yes, there's some glass work on the bottle work on the back, but the label, when you look at that on the shelf, you're looking at it and going,
Yeah, I thought the same, by the way. When I first saw Tapatio, before I started researching it, I was like, that looks like the plastic bottle tequila that you drank in college.
Right, or just the cheap stuff on the bottom shelf.
And I was wrong. I was very wrong.
Like this stuff is some of the best tequila, and they have a high proof. It's 110. It's amazing, and it's one of my favorite. And so, I had somebody, like you said, somebody asked me like, hey, what about this bottle? And they're going off the bottle, and it's a $160 bottle, and I'm like, it wasn't quality. I'm not gonna say who it was, but it was. Yeah, you're paying for the bottle, you're paying for the marketing.
And you have a video on that.
Yeah, 100%,
you have a video on that. So go back to watch his old videos.
Agave Broker on Instagram. So, but this right here, I mean, we're talking about Tapatio G4. This isn't even a tequila. This is an agave distillate. This is something that they just came out with, and it's a not a rare bottle, but it's a limited bottle, and so I was able to get one of these, and that's why I wanted to share it with my boy. And so it was bring that. And then we're talking about Monte Agave. This is a small brand, but they're putting out like superb juice.
They're next up, in my opinion. They're next up.
They're doing a festival here in Austin in November. So they're bringing all of these brands here to Austin. So shout out to Good Juice, and also, I mean it's just the brand. I'm talking about quality. Just knowing like what is in the bottle, knowing that it's additive free, knowing that it's craft tequila, and people that are putting into the what they're putting into the bottle. So
well, going back to the stories, one thing I love about your videos is the education piece of it. I learn a lot when I watch your videos.
Awesome.
And it's tequilas I haven't really paid attention to, and I need to pay attention to more. Like even noms, I now pay attention to the noms now.
I get a lot of people about that video. Like talking to they're like, I know what nom is now.
I know what nom is now. And you're supposed to. It's kind of like you want to know where your beef is coming from. Right. It's the same thing with your tequila. You want to know where your chicken is raised. You want to know, and it's the same concept, right? Nom is basically where that tequila is coming from. And so. To me, I was very blessed. I had a client who introduced me to it, and he introduced it to me with pasote, but the old bottle, right? And then from there, my algorithm started doing its thing, and TikTok and Instagram and everything started showing me, and then luckily, hopefully we get sponsored by a couple, somebody.
I don't care.
But shout out Quiche, restaurant here in San Antonio. They have the largest selection of tequila and mezcal. And I laughed because when I was doing my taxes and I was looking at my receipts, like every 2-3 receipts was Quiche. But what I like is when I find a new tequila, I don't have to go buy it. I can just go to Quiche. They have an amazing happy hour, and they usually have it. And so I'm able to just try it. And if I like it, I'll figure out where I can buy it from
100%.
And go straight there. But
I unfortunately, like our friends here in the office, you were talking about having a addictive personality. I ended up just like, my wife's gonna probably kill me when she sees this, but I just start buying it because I'm like, I don't want to wait. I want to taste it. Like, I would love it if like a brand would send me bottles to taste and do reviews. That'd be great. But they don't, so
let's just go buy them.
Let's go get them.
But Alamo City Liquor, shout out to them.
100%.
Alamo City Liquor, downtown San Antonio.
Is the biggest selection in San Antonio.
And they are amazing.
When you're talking about shelves from floor to ceiling, this literally...
And fairly priced. We've met the guy who owns it, and he's awesome. He's amazing. He's a cool dude. We've had tastings with him. We recently did a Lost Lore tasting.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. the rep of the company actually came and explained to us, everything about the company. So that was cool. So we're able to try that, and then anything else that they have. So Alamo City Liquor, if you can't find a bottle, you'll usually be able to find.
I'm talking about the downtown location.
Yes.
I don't know the street off the top of my head. I think it's Jones. But that's
like hidden.
Yeah, it's like hidden. But if you just Google it, you'll find it. But they've got multiple locations all over the city. So, but yeah, man, let's try the Cascanes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You brought that for me.
I brought that for you. Let's see. I want to see what your first impression is.
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Let me look at that bottle after you pour it. Sure. I haven't even taken a look at it. Cleanse this palate right quick. One thing I love about Cascanes is I think the bottle is so classy.
Yeah.
This is a classy bottle.
Salud.
Salud. Smooth.
It's smooth. It's different. Like the nose on it is different. So this is the jungle juice from Cascanes. It's not called tequila. It doesn't have tequila on the label because
Jugo de la Selva.
Jugo de la Selva is a jungle juice, man.
That's tough.
And so it's literally they can't call it a tequila because of the process.
Yeah.
Right. And so CRT, which is the regulating body of tequila in Mexico, has certain regulatory things that they have to follow for it to be tequila. And so the fact that how they process this out in the jungle, not in a distillery, is cool. Why they can't call it. So kind of like mezcal, or even there's caballito is another one that can't be called tequila. Okay. Because the highest proof that you can make tequila is 110. So and that's 55% alcohol by volume, right? Or ABV. And so if it's over that, it can't be called tequila. So they usually do stuff in a 60, 70% ABV.
That's crazy.
But it's still amazing agave, distillate. So
how much does this go for?
So I think that was one. I'm gonna say.
So just full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Yeah.
Cascanes is one of those brands where you will pay north of $85.
Yeah.
But Cascanes is in my opinion worth it. They are up there on the most pricier side, but I love Cascanes. I think Cascanes is great. My uncle's actually, that's the one he told me about.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he started, that and another one, but. He's all like, hey, have you ever tried this one? He showed me Cascanes. I was like, oh, you want Cascanes? You want Cascanes?
I'm trying to pull up the order here just so I don't misquote, but I want to say it was like 120.
Okay. For a limited batch, that's not bad.
Yeah, it just have to be like, I guess quick, right? Like, but. It took forever to come. I think it was one of these things that was stuck on the.
It's crazy how clear it is.
The whole tariff thing that kind of prevented some of it to getting there on time.
I like it.
It's good, right?
I like it. Yeah, it's very, very smooth.
Yeah, it's there's no bite to it.
There's no bite at all.
Yeah, I want to say it was 120. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think Cascanes is a great brand. Their marketing is awesome, and at the same time, like their juice has always been pretty quality. All the way through. There's not really.
And I've noticed they know that, and they've increased their prices over the years.
Yeah, I think that it's gone up a little bit. And what freaks me out is when I see it in one of the glass cases at Specs.
I haven't seen them. They come in glass cases?
No. They put them behind in the case. Yeah.
Really?
It's not on the shelf. They usually have it in the case, and I'm like, why?
I know Total Wine. It's on the top shelf.
Like I get it. Like anything that's it's over $100. I don't know.
Cascanes isn't in the glass type of tequila.
No, okay, great that they're considering it part of like Clase Azul type, but I don't understand.
But even then, I don't know. A lot of what's in behind the glass is bottles. Is like the bottle, the look of the bottle.
Yeah, like Clase Azul.
I think the only one I really like is Tears of La Llorona.
That's pricier. Yeah. So you're looking at $300.
And I've never bought a bottle. I've always tried
either.
it.
Yeah.
But Tears of La Llorona, I think is decent. But
100%.
All right. So one thing I respect a lot about tequila the makers is how some of them don't sell out for the money. So a lot of brands that people are familiar with, they started very mom and pop, and then once they got so popular, then a big company came and bought them out. And that's why the ingredients change, and that's why sometimes those tequilas go down in quality, and they're just not the same as they used to be, right? So what I respect is companies who say, hey, we're going to stay making premium tequila. We're not going to look at how much the paycheck is going to be.
Right.
We're going to stick to our roots. We're going to stick to the formula. We're going to stick to the way we do things. And that's why I respect Lalo so much.
Well, I was going to say, in my mind, Lalo's one, and then there's Fortaleza.
Fortaleza, yeah.
And,
shout out Fortaleza.
Shout out Fortaleza, because
we all know they're amazing.
We know they're amazing. That's why you can't find it. That's why it's hard to get.
1 bottle per person if you find it.
Yeah, Total Wine, thank you for your 1 bottle per person.
I know.
But it's, we have to go to Mexico, and even then, like, you can't get it everywhere. You got to go to the distillery.
Yeah.
But they took that approach of, hey, we know we make good juice. We know that you guys want it, but we're going to stick with what we make, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And when it's gone, it's gone. And however they sell it on the secondary market is what they're going to do.
Yeah. Whenever we make more, we'll make more.
We'll make more when they make more, and that's it. Because,
I always see it as like when your abuela cooks. It's like you won't eat abuela's food until she makes it.
Well, it would be different if agave took like a year to make.
Yeah.
But it's 6 to 7 years to grow. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they can so that's why the additives come into play, because they have to cut corners to ramp up production.
They care about the bottom line profit.
100%. So they're gonna manufacture the taste or your profile, and that's what you get and I'm gonna say this because my daughter and I, we came up with a name for it, and it's not saying the name, but it's be the Cacamigos, bro.
The Cacamigos.
So you know what I mean? Like, shout out to my daughter Liv. Me and her came up with that. It's the Cacamigos, and and that's that effect, right? So you got the additives in that, and so they have to mass produce that. So shout out to Fortaleza and all the brands that don't sell out. And
shout out Lalo.
Shout out Lalo.
Shout out Lalo
and,
too.
So man, I this is what I love about tequila.
Yeah.
This is the camaraderie, the connection, and just the relationships. You know what I'm saying? And so. I appreciate you hosting us in your beautiful office.
Yeah, and also we do have more tequila tastings throughout the months, and feel free, message Mike.
Reach out, man. If y'all want, put together a tasting, I'm down. I'm down to do something for y'all. We've been doing little tastings here and there, and just kind of bringing more people into the fold, and again, like connecting people.
Or if y'all need tequila recommendations, I know you're probably going to tag me. Message us and say, hey, I got a birthday party coming up and I need to buy it. Let us know, man. We'll make sure we get y'all a good bottle.
Also, if you are going to be in Austin in November, check out goodjuice.com. Yeah. That's a good way of seeing all the different brands. There's going to probably be about 50 brands that are going to be there. And you might meet the master distiller of those particular brands. So, man, thank you so much for hosting us, man, and look forward to doing more.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.